Hi, my name is Dave from XPA, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to set up your organization on XPA so you can begin tracking your data and viewing your reports. Once you go through the process of joining XPA and confirming your email, when you log in the first time, you're going to come to a screen to input your church information, your church name, your phone number, your address, and information, and the country you're in. And then you click Get Started. Now we've already gone through those steps, so we're going to go to our dashboard. And once we do that, you'll see here that we've created a church called Crosspoint Church. We're going to create we're going to click View Organization. So in here, there's not going to be any data because we've not added any data, and we need to set our church up to track data. So we're going to go over here to Settings. On the Settings tab, you're going to see a few different things that you're going to need to set up. The first thing is the branch of your organization. Now, a branch is what other people might call a campus or a location. It's just a place where your church meets. And so if you're a single location, you're just going to add one branch. But if you have multiple sites, you can add multiple branches of your organization. So we're going to start right now by adding a branch. And we're just going to call this Main Campus. And we're going to give it a phone number and an address. And we're going to call this our main campus. And we're going to add a branch. You're going to see that that's the main campus. Now, if you are a multi-site church, all you need to do is add a second branch and call this your downtown campus. And then add a phone number and an address, and then call this downtown campus. And again, this is irrelevant if you are a single site church, but you'll see that your tags will auto-generate separate colors and separate event automation because you might not have services meeting at all locations at the exact same time. So once you've added your branch, you'll need to come over and create events. We're going to create our events before we try to automate them. Now, an event is any time that your church is going to gather together for a meeting. So we'll call this first service. And maybe we say it's at 9:30. We'll give it whatever description you want, or perhaps you can say down here 9:30 a.m. on Sundays. We're going to add that event. You're going to see that it's going to generate a color. Now you'll see here that automatically weekly per capita giving is on, as well as event automation is on. This allows us to be able to add automated events for this particular service. If it's a one-time service, you don't want to make it something you can automate. And that means that there's going to be giving at this event. That's why we turn on weekly per capita giving, because we want to be able to track what's given per person. Let's say you don't want to track that for this event, you can simply toggle that off and it won't track that. So now that we've created that event, we're going to add another service. We're going to call this second service, and we're going to say it meets at 11 a.m. And again, this description can be whatever you want it to be. You don't have to add the time there. I'm just adding it for now, for fun. All right? And you can call it whatever you want, and your different events will begin to show up, and you'll see different colors displaying the different services. By default, weekly per capita giving and event is turned on. So let's go here though, and let's say we don't want to track weekly per capita giving here. We would just toggle that off, but we're going to leave it on for now. And those are our events. Now, that would be maybe our adults, but we need to think about the other things that are happening that morning as well. For instance, our children might be meeting. Now, if you're a small church and you only have everything happening at once, these kind of events would be sufficient. But if you track multiple things, you can go and add another event and call this Kids Church. And then maybe this is at 9:30. And we'll call it Kids Church 9:30. You're going to see that it generates another color. And then let's say you have a youth event that meets as well. Youth Church. And this is going to happen at 11. And again, you can name it whatever you want. It'll generate another color. So as you keep adding, you'll keep adding different colors to be able to quickly track your events. You can add all the events you want. What we would recommend at XPA is that if you track adults and kids and students, or even your breakouts of kids, there's a lot of different ways to get your data recorded. We want to make it as easy as possible for you, and so we've created this thing called tags in the events. So you might create your kids' church as an overall thing you're going to attract, but then we can come in here and we can add a tag. For instance, we might call this pre-K, and we tag it. And now you're going to see that for kids' church, we're going to be able to track pre-K separately. And let's say we want to track upper elementary. We're going to give that a tag, and let's do one more. Let's do lower elementary as well. So we've created 3 different tags for our kids' church, and then we come in here and on our students maybe and call this middle schoolers. And we can call this one high school. We've created some tags, and then for adults, we might want to track first-time guest at that service, or maybe we want to track salvation decisions. You can just create all the tags you want for your various events. Once you have all these events created, you can come in here and say, perhaps you don't need to track giving for the kids. So you turn that off. Same thing here for the students. Let's turn that off. Now at this point, we've created our events and we're ready to go. So now let's go over to donations. Now we're going to have 2 things here, sources and allocations. When you designate a source, you might consider you have people that give in the service, you might have people that give online, and you might have people that just mail in checks automatically. You can name those all as different sources so you can track them all separately. Or if you just want to track general giving, you can just call it general giving. Again, it's whatever serves you best. Allocations would be where those funds go. So let's say your church has a general fund as well as a building fund. You can create 2 separate accounts to show what the giving designation is for either of those sources and allocations. And so I'm going to show you how to create those right now. By clicking Add Donation Source, we can call this In Service. And we can also track that separately if we wanted to do some that are in the service at the 9:30 and some that are in the service at 11. Again, it's really just up to you to how you want to track. Let's add another one. Let's call this Online. And we're just going to create these 2. You can give them descriptions. And then let's call this our General Fund. And let's add one more and call this our Building Fund. Now we've added our donations. I hope you found this tutorial helpful and informative, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us for more information. You guys have a great time with XPA.